Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this live stream at the Birb Nest. And today we have a very interesting topic because the end of the year is coming, winter's coming, and guess who else is coming? Your favorite taxman. So the two certainties in life, death and taxes, it's happening, and people want to know about that. They want to know because you know, despite the market is not doing great in the past 2 months, the rest of the year was pretty nice, I would say. So many people have profits, and the time for their self-assessment is now. So we are going to talk about how to optimize your taxes because saving money is like making money. It's exactly the same thing. And we have here the experts, the absolute experts. So after this intro, we are back, and yeah, we are going to start talking about this. Cool, and we are back. And together with me, I have Peter Johnson and David Canedo from cointing.com. Welcome, guys. Thank you for your time. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you, Herc. I'm doing well.
Yep, we're doing great. Good to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Good to have you. Good to have you. So, very, very critical topic, right? We are discussing today. Before we start, though, would you like to provide some, to have an introduction of yourself and what you do?
Why don't you go ahead, David?
Sure. Thank you, Herc. So my name is David Canedo, and I'm a CPA, and I'm the current U.S. tax specialist, product manager at accounting.com. Prior to that, I worked in public accounting, and I was a tax manager, and I specialized in crypto towards the last couple of years in my career, and recently joined accounting. Peter?
Yeah, hi. I am the head of product development at product development at Accounting, business development actually, and I've been working for Accounting for about 4 months. In the past, I've worked for securities exchanges a lot, and have also been a professional trader where I've traded lots of different instruments, a lot of options and futures. And recently, I've been getting into crypto. But I've noticed that there are a lot of similarities between securities trading and crypto trading, especially when it comes to taxes. And that's a lot of what we're going to talk about today.
Awesome, thank you. And then let's kick off and let's cover 2-3 minutes. Describe what accounting does, what it is exactly, and then let's move towards let's open the discussion how people can optimize their taxes. What are the caveats there, the barriers? Because we have like so many opportunities in crypto that we can make money, right? And the most difficult thing, it can be very complex in doing our taxes. So yeah, tell us a few words about coining.
Yeah, definitely. So, as you said, it's making money. It's not just about making money. It's also about preserving the money that you've made, right? And not paying 30, 40, 50% of it to the taxman. So at a high level accounting, first and foremost, we're a portfolio tracking tool. So, we have an app available. You can basically link all your wallets exchanges so that when you have 10, 15 different wallets and exchanges, it's very difficult. Nobody wants to log into 10 different places to check where you're at every day, right? So the number one thing, we have a tracker that you can link everything, and you can look live. So you can say, hey, I've made, 20% to there, maybe I'm down 10%, whatever the case may be. And also we also develop as a tax compliance service. So because you have all your data linked and you have everything, your whole portfolio created already, then it is very easy for us to, since we already have the data, to basically come up with the accurate tax reports.
Got it. And just to make sure, whoever wants to connect their wallets with accounting is absolutely safe, right? You don't get any rights in stealing money.
Yeah, we do.
So
We do
just
everything with, there's a few different ways you can connect your wallets via read-only APIs, 100%
Mhm.
read-only. Never want write access or anything, or otherwise your public keys. So if you're looking at the Ethereum blockchain, the Binance chain, it would be obviously the public keys, nothing private.
Yeah, it's very important to address that because our audience has very beginners to very advanced, so we need to make sure that what we are talking about is an app that tracks portfolios without any issues, any security risk. So that's great. So tell us a few words about how, let's say it's the end of the year. I'm based in the UK. I need to do my self-assessment. We have most of our audiences in the US. How these people can optimize their taxes? What are the secret, the tips that you would give?
Well, I could start out by saying, yeah, there's two aspects of preparing your taxes. One is just preparing them, and that can be a nightmare in itself.
Tell me about it.
Getting all the data that you need and just getting accurate taxes. But it's really not enough to just get accurate taxes, because you can have two different scenarios that are both completely legal, both meet all the regulations, and one can result in a much, much lower tax liability. And that's where the optimization of taxes come in. And that's the main topic that we want to discuss here. Accounting does, do a great job in just preparing your taxes on the crypto side, but it also has tools to optimize those taxes. But really the first principle of optimization is to know what your tax goals are, because you can have different tax goals. Now, the general overriding tax goal is always over your lifetime to minimize the amount of taxes that you're going to pay.
That's my only goal.
That's pretty much universal.
My only goal.
Yeah.
Isn't it everyone's goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it can be, there can be a difference in your short-term perspective and your long-term perspective. If you have an idea that your tax rates are going to go down in the future, that may be when you want to have your biggest income. A lot of people are doing that, deferring their tax liability to later dates, because at least you know what the tax liability is now. But there can be cases where you actually anticipate higher tax rates in the future, so you might want to increase your taxable income in the short term and not pay those taxes. But generally, the most common goal is to lower your current tax liabilities, the current liabilities for the year. And then another goal can actually be setting very specific tax levels or income levels that you want to hit to take advantage of a lot of different tax credits, different marginal tax rates that can make a huge difference. And especially in trading, but there'll be some other aspects that we talk about, is that you have a big opportunity with selecting which coins that you actually trade or sell, even the same coin, but at different periods where you purchased it, to really fine tune what your tax rates are going to be and to hit certain specific tax levels. And I don't know if you want to add anything to that, the strategy part of optimization, David.
Yeah. What I can say to that is that, I'd like to think, I've always thought of tax compliance, having being a CPA and working in public accounting, I've always thought of tax compliance as two different things. You have the narrating history where you're just putting what happened into a piece of paper, into a tax return to file it to the government. That's just compliance. That's boring. It doesn't add any value to anyone. That's a pain in the behind that you don't want to deal with that, right? The fun part of tax compliance, and I say fun because probably being a CPA, but the fun part of it is actually planning. Right now the year is not over yet. So if you're a U.S. resident, your tax year is a calendar year. So right now is perfect time that you can do different strategies. If you're looking and you're saying, God, based on the trades that I've made, I already have like $50,000 of gains. hey, what can you do at this point? Is there anything you can do to reduce those taxes? And that's the proactive planning that we want to talk about, because at the end of the day, that's where you can really add a lot of value, not narrating history, but planning, right? And there's a few different ways that you can do that in crypto. Peter alluded to it, trading different coins. Maybe you're looking into this coin is sitting at a big profit, this coin is sitting at a loss. Maybe you can do tax loss harvesting. If you're sitting on big losses right now, hey, sell those coins, take those losses before the end of the year. Because if it's January 1st and you haven't done that, it's too late now. Also knowing what coins are a short-term gain versus a long-term, that can have huge differences in your tax rates. And then you can even do other things like, you can donate crypto if you feel generous, you contribute to IRAs, or there's even blockchain opportunity funds that are starting to come up for certain investors. So there's a lot of strategies that you can think about it from the proactive side to try to minimize your taxes.
And I want to add another angle here before we continue to the tax optimization, is the fact that many people that I know say, hey, it's fine, nobody will find my funds, right? Nobody will, from the tax authorities. Well, let's break it down pretty easily, right? Governments will make money out of your profits, no matter what. Even if it is in 5 years, they might develop the technology to go back in time and track you down. So, because you mentioned proactiveness, people need to be proactive. We need to be proactive. I don't think we have the luxury of doing dodgy things with
Yes.
taxes.
100%. What I'll say to that, and one of the biggest misconceptions that I found when I was working in public accounting are clients who would think, hey, this is not taxable, right? Bitcoin is private, right? Blockchain, crypto, this is private. Wait a minute. You guys realize that just by having the public key or the public address, you can literally see every transaction from any Bitcoin address, Ethereum, pretty much any blockchain that's not private. So, outside of Monero, pretty much everything you're doing is fully transparent. Anybody can see it with a blockchain explorer. And that's the bottom line. People need to be aware that this is so transparent. And also the government, when you think about in the US, what has been happening in the last couple of years, the IRS added that question to the tax return. Have you acquired a financial interest in virtual currencies? So they've been collecting data for the last couple of years. And also, by the way, if your account is linked at a Coinbase, a Kraken, Binance, any exchange that has KYC, know your customer requirements, that public address is already associated to your social security number and your name. So
and there you go.
They're going to put the pieces together sooner or later. You have to be proactive because the government is not saying, hey, don't trade crypto. They're actually being fairly open and receptive to crypto trading, at least in the US. We see it country by country. The one thing that they're saying is, hey, please report your profits and pay your taxes on this because, obviously they want a piece of it.
Exactly. And I see the chat from the people that are watching, and we have already questions. And it's the one question because we talk about US, which is quite useful. But we have a friend here that asks: is accounting just for US tax system, or is it applicable in UK too?
Yeah, we do offer it in the UK right now. We support. So right now we support the US, UK, Germany, Austria, Australia, and Switzerland.
And that's with very specific tax reports that meet the requirements of those countries. We also can be used even in other countries because there's usually a fairly generic way of reporting your gains and losses, which we support. And we're constantly adding countries. And it's true that there are very specific rules in certain countries, but a lot of those can be just having the general calculations of your gains and losses will be able to fit into whatever the specific tax rates and tax requirements of an individual country. So yes, we do support multiple countries. David and I are both from the States. David has a lot of experience in UK taxation and is looking at other areas. So, and we've started this really focus on tax optimization in the U.S. because they have some of the more specific and regulations coming out that are, especially with all these new laws that are being passed in Congress right now. There's a big focus on crypto, and people really are needing to get prepared for that.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly as Peter said, you can use this as a tracker in any country. As far as the tax reports, that's where we specifically support those countries, to make sure that we fit within the country specific reporting framework. If you want to use them for a different country, that's where, we don't, you can take it as a generic report, but those are the specific ones. We're taking a subtly more careful approach because obviously every country, their tax laws are different. So, we don't want to go into it, just say, hey, we support every single country in the world. So again, you can use this as a tracker.
Yeah, I mean, you have established partners in each country that you provide exactly the report that the tax authorities of this country want. Now, for the rest of the countries, they are free to download the report and use it to their, tailor it to the needs that their country have. Let's say, is that correct? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess and just so we say, and because we have a very special offer just for this live stream, there is in the description, there is 20% off of any plan at cointing.com because actually the portfolio tracker is for free. Now, if they want to generate a tax report, you have paid plans based on the volume of trades, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Based on volume of trades and also by tax year.
And the tax optimization tools, before they actually go into the tax reports,
so they can use that for free, right?
Well. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So can we speak about that, because all the people want to save money, how they can use this amazing tool you have in the platform?
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to go over a quick demo of the platform?
Should I throw in the screen share? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Why not?
Okay.
Dive right into it. So
just so you know, guys, this is like a fake portfolio. He's not that rich, so don't target it. Don't target David. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wish this was mine, but
yeah, me too. I got jealous instantly.
So anyway, we'll just go over a couple of pieces at a high level really quick, and then we can kind of narrow in on the tax optimization. When you get into accounting, this is our main interface. This is the overview page, and you can basically see your total holdings. This is for every single exchange. In this case, as you can see, we started using
of all the wallets.
Yep. So these
are
all the
wallets, exchanges, and everything, right?
Correct. Wallets, exchanges, blockchains. In the case of the Ethereum blockchain, the Binance blockchain. Up here, you can see your coins by individual holding. So in this case, we have 4 coins in this portfolio, and you can see, how much are you sitting on a loss, profit, the value, all the information that you'd want to see. The price fluctuations, you can change between 7 to 8, 1 month, and depending on the coin that you select, you can kind of see the data. So, obviously, a lot of people are used to using TradingView and everything, but it's, sometimes kind of nice to be able to see the performance of your specific coins. And you can even compare directly. So if you select all of them, and you can kind of see, obviously this depends on the percentage that you have. So, in this case, Bitcoin seems like it's a lot more difficult to compare that way. But so again, this is kind of the main page. And then if you go over, this is a performance tool. We're still kind of working on this tool right now. But at a high level, you can basically see your unrealized gains, your estimated realized gains, and how many transactions you've had for the year. You can see between USD and Bitcoin value. This is for your whole portfolio, everything that you've connected.
And just to make sure, when you're talking about the year, you mean the calendar year or the tax year of the country that I have?
This would be the tax year. It's based on your settings that you have.
Okay.
Now, if we go to the wallets page, and this is the most interesting part, because everybody wants to know, so how do we connect wallets? And by the way, you can do this from the app too. This is our main interface, or you can add any wallet that you want. Here you can find your different wallets. So for instance, if you have a ledger, you can find your ledger right there, and you can basically go step by step. You can, whether you have a CSV file, maybe you just have a couple of trades and you want to do it manually. Don't generally recommend that because it can take quite a while. So point being, you can go step by step and upload your information.
Nice.
We'll get out of that. And, it kind of works the same with exchanges. You can find every single exchange or, most, well, when I say every single, most of the ones that have any relevant trading volume, because there's always an obscure exchange out there that we probably may not support yet. We're working hard every day to try to add as many as we can. And you can even import. So if you're using a different tracker and you want to switch to Cointing because you like it better, whatever the reason may be, maybe because you got the 20% discount from this stream, you can always import your data from a different service, and then you can connect your wallets starting from a certain point in time so that you have that snapshot of the portfolio, and then it's simple going forward. Any questions so far that you want me to stop, or should I go into the optimization?
No, it looks straightforward to me. There are some relevant questions from the audience, but I think it's better to have an overview and go through the questions after that, because I guess the most important thing is to see how we can use accounting and the special tools that you have for the tax optimization.
Yeah, absolutely. So the one thing that I'll say is really cool about it too is that first, the user interface, it's pretty simple and straightforward here in the the way that we present your wallets and exchanges. And by the way, you can click on any one of these. I think all of these only have one coin, but basically if you had multiple coins in the same exchange, you can click on the drop down, you can see all your holdings. And then after you import your data, so two things that I want to point out, you can always look at the full data set over here. And, if you need to do a little bit of data digging, maybe you need to investigate a transaction, a cost basis of something is missing because you forgot to link something, and you have to do a little bit of digging. And this, you can sort and filter by a lot of different, you can filter by wallet, a lot of different ways. So you can slice and dice the data. And then the other cool thing, once you have all your wallets connected, we have this review tool that is automatically going to look for any, it has a few different steps that it kind of follows, the checks and balances to make sure that all your transactions that everything is accounted for. Because at the end of the day, something that happens is that, you'll link all your wallets exchanges, and then you may forget of one exchange that maybe you traded some stuff in just one coin that you wanted, and you're not using it anymore. So, this is going to make sure that there's no holes in your data by basically reading your data and making sure that everything is accounted for. Though, when I say what I mean by that is we have this unknown currency. So if there's any currencies that, maybe it's called something different to that exchange, you can map it right here. I don't have any of those cases right now to show any internals. So in the case, an internal transaction, basically, if you're transferring crypto from your wallet or exchange to another wallet or exchange that you control, sometimes you have to identify those. In the cases that they match one for one when you import the data, accounting is going to do it automatically for you. But in the case that there's a couple of transactions that look, maybe you sent 100 USDC to this other exchange, and at the same time you sent like 99.8. So in the cases that it could be a little bit ambiguous which one to pick, we're going to say, hey, match your internal transfers right here.
Got it.
Classify transfers, again, this is a clean portfolio that everything was already done. But basically, if you have income like staking, if you have airdrops, anything like that doesn't come through cleanly in the import, depending on the exchange and the quality of their data, you may have to just go here and kind of classify the transactions. And what I mean by that, if I come to the full data set, for instance, this is a staking transaction. So if I click on this, I can change the classification. So going back to that screen, you would be able to see anything that's not classified yet and be able to classify as any of the, these are all the income events. Just like their income events are also withdrawal or disposal events. such as, gifting, withdrawals, or, a lot of any events that basically withdraw from your portfolio. So if we come back here, so we talked about the internals, talked about the transfers, and again, basically focusing on the deposits and withdrawals that I talked about, and the missing funds. This is the most important tool because, again, if you have a crypto that you traded and we don't have the cost basis information, maybe because there's a hole in the data set, how do you know your taxable gain or loss? And this is true for probably 9 out of 10 countries around the world. Generally, it's your proceeds minus your cost basis. If you don't know what your cost basis is in that asset, you're going to overestimate your gains, right? So what this is going to do, this is going to say, hey, we notice that the balance here doesn't agree to the balance based on the data. It's going to see that there's a hole, and it's going to prompt you that, hey, you need to fix something, whether that means importing the other exchange that you're missing, or otherwise, something in the data that you got to pay attention to. But either way, all these are things that you have to do, just to ensure that you have 100% of the history in your portfolio, so you can come up with an accurate tax report. Because if you have any holes in the data, then it can't be as accurate as possible. Anyway, so once you connect all that, and we'll go to the trading tax optimizer right now. So this is a cool thing about, if you are trying to make some trades throughout the year,
that's not just the coolest thing. This is the most interesting part, I guess.
Yeah. By the way, we're still taking feedback live, and we're making subtle improvements to this tool, just to keep their users' feedback in mind. So may still have a couple updates or upgrades over the next few days or so. But anyway,
that's something that I really experienced with using Accounting, is that you have an active support on Telegram, right? And I found it very helpful, when looking things, because I had a specific question, not relevant to this live stream, but with taxes, and it was really helpful, not just from the people from your team, but also from the community. So it's a very active community, and I really appreciated that.
That's awesome. I'm sure the rest of our team, our support team, is going to be happy to hear that. It's all about community, right? That's what crypto is all about at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But yeah, so if you're looking at this, I want to point out kind of the coolest things about it, or the main use cases. Let's see, maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. Cool. All right. So there's, as I said, some of the main strategies that you can use with this tax optimizer is, number one, tax loss harvesting. In this case, hey, look at this red number. Ooh, that is a loss of 1,026 that I could probably get. And if you expand on the detail right now, so you can click on every single coin and see where you have them at. In this case, because this is summarized by coin. In this case, you expand this and you can see, okay, I have these Polkadot, these dot are on Kraken, these are on Binance. Okay, so if you select these, that's 1,030 loss. Now you can also see the effect that it has on your year to date. So really quick, I'm going to go here to your tax report. This is based on the trades that have been made in this portfolio. Right now,
Okay.
Portfolio shows $493 of short-term gains. Pretty cool for that value to only have $493 of gains. But anyway, so if you keep that in mind, no long-term gains. So basically, if you come over here and you say, okay, what happens if I sell this and this? This 536 includes your realized gains of 492. Now, unfortunately here, if you do that, you see the long-term gains too, because, hey, this Polkadot also has some long-term. Ooh, so maybe I don't want to sell this because I don't want to incur $26,000 of gains. Maybe I just want to sell this. And if you only sell that you have this $580, this is basically the 580 plus your year-to-date, your realized gain. We're going to have an update where we're going to allow users to turn on.
So wait, is that what I see now? Is that simple? So I go there, I do the different combinations, click and click, click and click, and then I play with the numbers and see what I can do, right? What is the best thing for my pocket?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is that
That is amazing, actually, because we are talking at the Birb Nest. We educate people, right? We teach people how to trade, and the most important thing is to have a solid trading strategy. And in this case, you have a solid tax strategy.
Yeah, and the other thing that I want to point out. So this up here, this is going to show you when your gains are going to go from short to long. This is a time slider. As you can see, it moves through the year.
Wow. Okay.
And it's going to show you can see down here, this shows you the long-term gains relative to the short. So as you slide this, and I only have this Polkadot selected right now, but as you look at the numbers, they're changing. Now, you may say, okay, this knowing the short to long term, if it's a year, right? That's not that difficult to know if I bought like $50,000 of Polkadot 1 year ago. But what happens when, and I'm going to go back to the full data set, I'm going to filter here by Kraken. What happens when, if you're staking on Kraken, Polkadot, and I know it from personal experience because I've staked on there, you get paid every 3 days. So
good point.
A year from now, when you're looking to sell that Polkadot and you're saying, I want to make sure that everything that I got from that state Polkadot is long-term, not short-term. Well, you're going to, either you can go every 3 days or you can do obviously you can, you can always do the math yourself. But when you consider that you need to connect your portfolio for taxes and, the other functionality, you can just look here and you can see exactly when the Polkadot, you can see here the amount, 110, 1,318, and you can see as we drag the slider, you can see when every coin becomes long-term, which allows you in turn to create a plan, an exit strategy when you say, okay, I know that I've held this for long enough. I need to sell this, but I want to make sure to sell it as long-term gains as opposed to short.
Okay, this is really cool. Actually, it solves. As you said, anyone can do the calculations, but the process into doing that manually, it's a mission.
Especially when you consider that if you're getting, in this case, if you're getting Polkadot or you're staking something, you're getting paid out every 3 days. Your cost basis in that is the fair market value of that coin at the time that you got it. So if you want to keep track of it in a spreadsheet, you have to do a valuation for every single time that you got the coin. So, you can set up your VLOOKUPs to maybe a spreadsheet that you download from, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, whatever. But it gets to be a lot of work, especially if you do a lot of trading and you have a busy life like a lot of us do, right?
Yeah. I'm just taking a few messages from the audience. Guys, this is really cool, right? It can save you a lot of time, and I'm sure your tax guy, the guy that does your taxes, your accountant, will be grateful for this tool. And just make a note. There is at the description, there is a special code. You can get 20% off any plan at accounting.com. Is there anything else we are missing in the screen, or should we go through the questions from the audience? What do you think?
I think for the most part, this is the functionality that we have. We're still working live. We have, we're going to have a V2, V3, V4, V60 release of this. We're, listening to our community. We're going to keep improving this tool. The other point that I want to make is that obviously the steps are, you start by linking all your wallets, getting your portfolio there so you can track it. Now you can do proactive tax planning so you can see what trades to make. By the way, even me as a CPA, I've used this the last couple of days. I traded a couple of coins for other coins. I won't say which ones because I don't want to chill anything, but I made some trades and I use this because I'm like, I don't want to trade anything that has gains. I only want to trade my position that has losses, or I'm break even because I don't want to pay more, right? But then the other cool thing is that once you use this, you already got everything linked. So you come to your tax report, hey, look at that. You can just download your reports, take them to your CPA, or put them into whatever tax software you're using, and you're done. You don't have to do this come April 14th at 11:59 p.m. or sorry, the 15th at 11:59 when you're trying to get everything done last minute.
That's really nice. Really nice.
No, and when you mention the tax packages that are doing your overall tax return, because remember, the crypto is generally only one part of your income, and we have developed interfaces between the major tax packages that for the do-it-yourself taxes, and so that you're able to get the income from accounting directly into those packages through interfaces. And that's one of the developments that we're working on, is that when you actually go to execute trades, or that you'll have your tax information of your overall income picture, so that it can tell you every time that you go to trade what the actual tax impact of that trade will be based on your specific income profile for like year to date.
Got it. Question. If an exchange is not mentioned in your API CSV list, can we still import a CSV into the tracker and use it for generating a report?
Yes, 100%. If we don't support it directly via their API, you can add it. As you saw in my example, I had in this one, I think that I have exchange, well, the wallets, we just kind of named them, but basically you can come over here, add it, new exchange. Sorry, I can't type live. And then you select it, and you can either do it manually if you only have a handful of trades, or you can do a template. And the cool thing here, you can download our specific template. Now it has to be in this format, but if you're pretty savvy with Excel, it's not difficult to kind of get that whatever format into our format. It's not too many fields you have to complete. Then once you get that up, you can just upload it here and you connect it that way.
Awesome. And there is also because the tax optimization tool that you have is really interesting, and as I said, it solves a lot of problems. So we have this question: do you have any guidance tutorials on optimizing tax position in a year? Is there, if we go, do you have like an article or a walkthrough how to use the tool?
I mean, I guess it depends on how specific. If it's in general, if it's very general, I mean, generally you want to, claim more losses, harvest your losses, defer your income. Don't try to get any short-term gains. If it's specific, then, we can't provide specific guidance. Now we are going to have we do have a lot of articles through our hub. If you search for Accounting the Hub, or it is connected to our site, we do have a lot of, here I can quick show it on my screen, since obviously we're, so if you come to our website, which is hub.accounting.com, you can go, and we have different countries content here. And if you click in the, the US, we do have different articles kind of addressing different strategies and such. This is obviously country by country. Content for the UK, and we also have a lot of different educational articles, basically, on our crypto platform, how to connect your wallets, exchanges, everything.
And the same person has another question. Can we simply sell now as prices are lower and then immediately buy back and hold? Will that help mitigate profits made this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's, that has been controversial, because in traditional securities law, there's such a thing called it's a wash sale rule, where if you sell a security, a stock, and then you buy it back within 30 days, you can't claim that loss. That's a wash sale. However,
think that's the same in the UK.
yes, I believe you're right.
In a month, I'm pretty sure it is.
So
But
the way around that though is that you can sell one coin and then buy a different coin that you feel is correlated to that market, so that you don't hit that wash sale rule, and then later you can adjust your portfolio again to get exactly the coins that you want. But that is a really important consideration, because if you don't do it right, you can lose the tax benefit.
well, and I mean that's I mean right now, so that is a hot topic right now. That actually the government, DC, they're going to close the loophole right now. As of today, the cryptos are under tax law right now. Cryptos are considered property. The wash sale law, as specified in the Internal Revenue Code, applies to securities. Cryptos are not securities right now. So that's kind of a loophole that exists. So yes, today you can actually sell a coin, take your losses, buy it back, and you can legally claim those losses. Now, we have to disclaim it, because we just, they're going to be closing that loophole within the next year or so, we all expect. But for now, you can still do it.
Got it. And I guess just one question about the fees. Automatically, I assume the exchange or the blockchain or the wallet that I connect with Cointing, you deduct all the fees, right, from the final report.
Yeah, the fees are, and that obviously depends on the type of fees. Different type of fees have different treatment, but yeah, we do take into account all the fees and treat them accordingly.
Fantastic. What is any other tips you want to share with our friends watching, how we can make sure we pass this education that this is the way to legally save money from your crypto taxes?
Well, I think it gets back to there was the question of the tutorials and whether the how to use the tool is available. And if you go to the main landing page of our website, you'll see that thorough description of the tool, and there is a how to use section. And there's these tools apply to all kinds of different taxpayer personas. From very small trader with or a low income. To a very high income active trader. We show examples of those personas, and also a high level view of exactly how you use the tool. We're actually developing much more detailed tutorials that are going to be released in the next month, and where we'll have a lot more detail, and in addition to what I'd mentioned, how you use it to interface with the overall tax preparation tools, so that you get an overall picture.
Yeah, there's our landing page with our instructional videos and Peter on our video right there. Got embarrassed him live.
Yeah. But this gives you kind of a walkthrough of what you need to consider to use the tool to properly optimize your taxes, and then the different personas of how different types of traders or investors can benefit from the tool.
Yeah, different examples of different type of use cases, scenarios where you could be in one position, and by using the tool, by making the right decisions, you can save a lot of money in taxes just by making the right choices.
And it might be worth pointing out that, there are some similar tools available, but we've seen them as high as $100 a month fees to just have access to those, which we don't even think are as thorough as the one that we're presenting here. So for a temporary time, there is, we're giving free access to this tool. We're looking favorably on feedback. We're updating it. We want to come up with the most thorough tool. We're rolling it out for different countries. So right now it's just an exceptional value. And it's really worth looking into.
Yeah, another thing that I quick want to point out as we're still showing the tool is that we also expose your tax settings. So right now, this shows you, because obviously your tax outcome is going to depend on what are you reporting with FIFO, LIFO, specific identification in the US? And also, are you looking at multi-depot or single depot settings? So we show you what settings you have here, and these are basically aligned to how you would be reporting your tax reports. And if you want to change your settings, if you're just getting started and you want to say, okay, I don't think I like using FIFO, you can come here and you can say, ooh, I think I'm going to use LIFO. Let's see what happens. Save your changes. Obviously, this is going to update your report. Well, in this case, we must have solved something that it had no impact on the gains and losses here. But now all this information, because depending on what you're using, FIFO, LIFO, you're going to be looking at different data, understanding what may be taxable when. And all this information we also show you on our landing page. And we have articles explaining exactly, if you're using FIFO, should you be looking at these gains or these gains? If you're using LIFO, the same question, basically to help you know if I sell X amount, what gains or losses am I going to be subject to?
Right. It should be pointed out that some countries will have a very strict requirement of what sales in the order of what coins you're selling, that you don't have as much choice as to say, I'm going to sell this particular coin. It's going to automatically allocate on a basis such as FIFO. But this tool will show you, where your coins are, and it's possible for you then to transfer coins. If in some cases, the tax savings can be so great by how you structure your transactions that you can actually transfer coins to different wallets and execute those coins from there to get the optimal tax situation that you want. And that's especially when you're in a situation where you're looking at each portfolio or each wallet being viewed separately as rather than a single pool. So depending on the country, that will make a huge difference.
And I have to say you're legends, because my laptop crashed completely and I had to restart it. So what did I miss? Sorry about that.
Whereas we were just talking about more specifics as to your gains and losses, and kind of looking into, we're talking about the settings from LIFO to FIFO, how that's relevant, the fact that you can look at your tax settings here. And then basically Peter was kind of expanding on that, talking about, because, are you using FIFO, LIFO, different tax valuation methods that, depending how you report, you may have different outcomes. Same with, are you using multi-depot or single depot? And multi-depot, you look at every wallet and exchange as a different kind of taxable entity. Whereas if you look at single depot, you consider the whole ecosystem as one. There is no right or wrong answer at this point. Tax authorities are still kind of scrambling with, we've all seen how, legislators can be very slow, and sometimes they get stuck and wait. What is Bitcoin again?
Yeah, and I and I cannot imagine how challenging it is for you as well to be on top of everything, right? Connections with the exchanges, new mainnets or new laws, crypto laws from every country. Very, very challenging indeed.
Yeah, no, there's a lot happening. And as you know, by the time that you have full functionality of DeFi and NFTs, something else is going to be the hot
something else pop-ups, right? I have a question. Does this apply to Ireland taxes laws?
Not specifically. We haven't looked at the report specifically for Ireland. If you want to follow up, we can definitely do a, if you want to follow up directly through support, and you want us to double check. But I can't comment on Ireland's tax laws. I'm not familiar with them. We can double check with our European team though.
And I like the excitement. There is this comment, very clean UI, great work. And I have to be honest, I tried when it was time, when I got serious about taxes, I said, okay, let's try different tools, right? Let's try this, let's try that. And then I fell in love with this one because of the UI. It was so clean, so straightforward. And then especially what you described earlier with the review, going through every section of this wizard, let's say, the 4 steps, the review, the classifications, and finally the tax report. It was, a blessing. So we have 4 steps. We have the unknown currencies, We have the identity internals, the classification that was really helpful, and the missing funds. And I have to say that, and I found this solution to my problem from your community. And the problem was that I participated in an ICO, and I got the tokens. I paid for the tokens, right? Let's say $1,000, and I got the tokens back in 2 rounds. So that's not straightforward in accounting, but your community helped me, and they said, okay, ignore the initial, the transaction that we got automatically, add 2 transactions instead of one, so $500 and $500 each, and then map it with the 2 rounds that you got the tokens, and that was it.
Cool. That's awesome to hear that our community was so helpful. And that's the unfortunate part of working in blockchain and crypto, that there's always going to be cases where you need a subtle workaround because technology is moving so fast, and we can't address 100 out of 100 cases. But in the one-off cases that we can't fully address automatically, that's really cool that that our community was so quick to help you out there.
Absolutely. Is there anything that we are forgetting regarding the tax optimization tool and how people can save money from taxes before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think as a whole, again, if you want to focus on your individual portfolios, the ways to go about it is tax loss harvesting and making sure that anything you sell either, is long term if you're ready to pay those taxes, or otherwise, make sure that there's no taxes due. Maybe sell your losers or the ones that have no gains. But beyond that, other ways, depending how much, obviously it depends on your specific situation. If you have excess crypto and you're feeling quite charitable, you can always donate your crypto. You can get a deduction for the fair market value of the crypto without having to recognize the gains. People do that with appreciated securities all the time, donating. And there's specific organizations that help you donate your crypto. Beyond donating, you can even fund a crypto IRA. It's IRAs, 401ks, they're very traditional investments in the traditional world. You can do it in crypto. It's not as popular, but you can do it. You can trade inside the IRA, and that's all not taxable. They work the same as a normal IRA. You just have to specifically fund with US dollars. You can't transfer crypto. And last but not least, the other one that just kind of, I've just been looking at this, and it's kind of interesting. For any accredited investors, there's also blockchain opportunity funds. What these are, anybody who's familiar with the real estate opportunity funds, are basically funds in which you can defer your gains by 5 years. So if you get into this fund, you invest your gains with the fund and you defer the gains by 5 years. If you do it before the end of the year, actually you get a 10% reduction. So you'd only pay 90% of your taxes in 5 years. But then any investment that you have after that is fully tax-free after 10 years. Now, this is a highly sophisticated kind of method. And, as I said, it's only for accredited investors, but that's another option. These blockchain funds that are basically investing in Web 3.0 blockchain infrastructure. Especially if you have a lot of gains, maybe you have a lot of gains from Doge or Shiba Inu, you think you got really lucky and you're like, can somebody else manage it for me? And, because it's difficult to get lucky twice, right?
Yep. I totally agree. I think we covered this question, but since we have a friend who joined later, let's answer it again. What about EU, Balkan? So please feel free to comment about the specific reports that you have for specific countries, and for the rest of the countries that I guess they can produce a report.
Yeah, right now specific reports in the EU, we have Germany, Switzerland, even though they're outside of the EU, Great Britain also.
Mm-hmm.
Austria.
Austria, yep.
Austria. And for the rest of the countries, people can download all the report, not specifically for their tax authorities and work out from, take it from there.
Right. It calculates your gains and losses and classifies the different types of income, but it doesn't have a country-specific report that is. So you just take the data and put it into the tax returns of that country, but you have to be aware where they go, what the different kinds of income.
Yeah,
got it.
You can always download the CSV of your gains and losses, and if you're handy with Excel or Google Sheets, whatever it is, you can run a pivot table and slice and dice that data however you want to. Because if you're familiar with your own country's laws, maybe you know how the gains have to get reported, maybe you know how the fees have to get separated. So that's always an option.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense, yeah. And regarding the packages, this is a very good question. Can you go from one package to another when you see you need a higher level? Do we know the technicality there, or?
Yeah, we can follow up on that because we're working on our pricing page. We'll get back to you. But I think if you need a higher level, you would have to purchase the additional package. But
I would say. But
it's a one-time purchase per year, so that you would, if you turns out you don't have enough, you can just upgrade to the next package without paying for 2 packages.
Okay, so he will pay the excessive amount, right?
That's what I believe. And if it happens to not be the case, just contact our support. We can talk about that.
Yeah, or join Telegram. It's you can get pretty easily the answer. Cool. And can we pay in crypto?
As much as we want to allow that, I don't believe that we support payments in crypto yet.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah, we're working on that. It's been a constant request, but
yes. Yeah, it's unfortunately when you have a plan with limited resources, you have to focus. You choose NFTs or paying in crypto first. So we're trying to listen to our users and what they need to track their portfolios first.
And the interesting thing is that when you do purchases in crypto, I mean, that is itself a taxable transaction. So that's something that you want to look at in the package to see how that impacts your taxes. That's often the case. Like, for example, if you are investing in, say, a retirement fund in the US and you have crypto that you want to invest in that, you'll be forced to liquidate that just by the current tax laws, liquidate that crypto and put it into fiat currency, which will cause a taxable transaction. And then you can put it into a tax deductible retirement fund, but your net tax impact is not, 1-to-1. So
Wow.
all of these are very, a lot of things going on, moving parts. And I would emphasize that, to properly optimize your taxes, you need the picture of your entire income situation, your earned income, your crypto income, any securities income, and it all combines together to where you can, set very specific targets of the amount of taxes that you want to hit, where your income levels are, what your marginal tax rates are. And it's all part of a big picture. And we do have a lot of explanation on our educational materials on the hub that explains how, these, like I said, how the cointing packages fit into the regular overall tax preparation process.
Yep. And by the way, you can pay with credit card and PayPal. Also, we connect directly to them. So I know PayPal supports crypto, so maybe that's a quick band-aid right now if you do want to pay with crypto.
Okay, fair enough. And I love this one. You guys made a great product. I will take one and spread the word. And this is it. People are not very familiar with how to solve these issues. People are more focused on how to make money, but then you have to declare that money, right? That profit to the tax authorities. Now, tell me something, because I have this question, and I don't think I. Yeah, so if I'm based in a country that you support, which means that you have a specific dedicated partner in that country, can I get in touch with those guys? Do you provide this connection with the CPA, for example, that I can hire someone to do my taxes?
Yeah, we do have a
Partners, let's say.
accountant partnership program, and
Okay.
on our landing page, you can see there's an accountant link, and it will show you which accountants are located in which countries that are partners, and usually they will even be able to provide further discounts if you go through them. And so on the website you can find what our main partners, and we're picking up new partners. These are our preferred partners. They're Pro and Premium that we actually do joint initiatives with. There's also others that just are using the package and recommending it to their clients. But yes, we do have, you can get information on accountants that use this package and work with us
And the
on our website.
The one thing I'll add to that is that if you are hoping to or planning to find an accountant to do your crypto taxes, start looking as soon as possible, because there's not a lot of accountants. Having worked in the industry, 99% of them don't understand crypto. There's not a lot of them that speak crypto. So, and those that do are very overbooked and sought after. So if you are planning on that, try to get on it as soon as possible.
I have a friend of mine, very good friend back in Greece. He's an accountant, and the only advice I had was, blockchain crypto will become so big that people will need accountants specialized in crypto. So
Yes.
do your homework.
Yeah, good opportunity if somebody is out there and they want to go to school picking what to learn. Hey, go into accounting and make a niche for yourself in crypto. There's a lot of opportunity right now.
The problem is in a lot of countries, there's a shortage of overall accountants and tax preparers. And so they're just already so busy doing the regular stuff. They don't, have the desire or the time to do crypto. So we also stress and have a lot of information about how to do it yourself, or to at least do what is the crypto part. And that's what is really strong about accounting, is that really you don't need to work with a crypto expert, because all of the reports, we have a single tax report that can go to the accountants that breaks down all the income by the category, so that they don't really have to know that much about crypto to actually get it into the tax return. And they can focus on all your other taxable transactions and income.
Got it. Okay, we have a final question from the audience. I don't want to leave anyone unhappy. So can your software parse the AVAX chain?
Yes.
I believe right now you have, I can add wallets in ERC20 and...
Yep. I just tried it live right now. I'm typing AVAX. There it is.
Okay.
So again, if you go back, if you're just coming over here, search for wallet. There it is. Wallet
Okay, awesome.
address, and there would be your public address.
Fantastic. There you go. Good news. Guys, for the people that are watching us, in the description, you can find the special code which you can use at cointing.com in the checkout. Birbnest is the code. You can use it and get 20% off any plan, and you can calculate your taxes easily. And when I say easily, straightforward. Peter, David, thank you so much for your time. That was very enlightening. And, the end of the year is coming. So we have to educate people. They have to submit their taxes. Otherwise, they might go into troubles, right?
Yeah, and right now I'm hoping for green days as much as everybody else is. But if the market keeps giving us down days, then at least harvest your losses and get something out of it, get some tax value out of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Any final words? Any final comments from you, Peter?
No, that's it. Thanks a lot for having us on, and we hope you'll try out the packages. And a huge amount of it is actually free to use. The whole tax optimization portion, the portfolio tracking. So, you can really get to know the packages before you even commit to the purchasing for the tax plan.
Yeah, guys, make sure you try Accounting. It's a tax portfolio. It has the tax portfolio feature with, Peter said, the tax optimization. And then you can decide if you want to buy. But I use it personally. It's pretty awesome. Again, guys, thank you so much for your time. I'm pretty sure it's not the last time we are going to see each other. So yeah, for now, take care, and we'll speak soon.
Definitely looking forward to it. Thank you and take care.
Take care.
Yeah, been a
Bye-bye.
pleasure.